Hi again. I thought I would do another reading while I'm here doing readings. Just to check in on Biden. Let's look at Biden just to end on a good mood. For me, I think he's doing great and I like him. So how's it going, Joe Biden? Actually, I feel like using a different deck. Yeah. Okay, looking into Joe Biden. Oh, hello. The Hermit and the King of Rods. He's feeling strong. He is strong and he is not messing around. I just did the reading on what happened with Iran and things getting, whatever plan that was to hurt a lot of people got thwarted, turned upside down. I think he's feeling very strong about that, because they got a lot of those drones, they knocked him out of the sky. And he feels very good about that. There's also this Hermit card. There's so much we don't know that he knows. And that's just kind of how it has to be during certain periods where, where like a world leader is kind of managing things and doesn't want to show too much. There's a lot of strength and a lot of consideration and analyzation going on. So I got both of those. I'm going to see if there's anything crossing. I'm crossing Biden right now. Crossing the situation. Covering the situation. I almost feel like there's not, but it's like they just gave me those two cards and like that just sort of says it all. It's almost like he just doesn't have time. He doesn't have time to have the complication of a covering card. He's just like, he's got to just be in the moment all the time. Okay, what's at the surface of the situation? Biden. Oh, hello. Another two cards, okay. Ace of Rods, I think, yeah, and Page of Swords. I think that his big move just now when it came to Iran and other big moves he's making, messaging is big right now. He's strong in his messaging. And I'm seeing that, and I'm really glad about it because it's, in the situation we're in with the person he's running against, you got to be really strong and really just straight up in your messaging. We don't have to protect, the integrity of whatever. It's no, you just got to be real. And that's what he's doing. So that's what we're seeing and feeling. Let's see what's beneath the surface. Page of Rods. I'm sorry, 9 of Rods. It's interesting because this is a defending your territory card. And I think that is happening. I think when you think about our territory, you might think just the United States, if you're in the United States, we're reading on, Biden. But I believe there's a territory that expands beyond the United States. It's it has to do with democracy, world democracy, that sort of thing. It's a bigger picture. There is there's a pensiveness, a tenseness, a somberness that is being dealt with on the world stage with world leaders who kind of see the bigger picture. And I think a lot of us see it as well. There's a lot more at stake and a lot more that we're fighting that isn't just about borders, but is about the integrity on the world stage, the protection, for instance, it's really important that we protect and help Ukraine because there are forces that are trying to move in and it won't end there. And forces trying to mess with different democratic elections and this and that. So there is a standing, he is standing his ground, but it's there's more that we don't know beneath the surface, but he is standing his ground. We are, keeping our head above water, so to speak. But I feel there's a real heaviness to that. It's That's like that same feeling of like, we just don't have time. I don't have time for like my life to be complicated. It has to just be very direct and strong. And, you know, like, we're not messing around here. Like, the stakes are big and we have to keep protecting ourselves. And I do feel there's a real unity. I feel like I'm going to see more of that. There's a unity on the world stage that is also, I'm feeling with Biden, with other leaders. Like, I don't know, the UN or something. The Tower. It's sort of, yeah, there's definitely like a feeling of like, there are certain leaders that are just not following the rules. You know, and this could be about the wars, you know, breaking out. Yeah. And like I had seen in that other reading, like I do feel like these unrelated wars are possibly more related than we realize. And it's meant to sort of cause a chaos and a havoc and a breakdown. And so that is really what's driving so much of the rest of, you know, the feeling of protectiveness, of defending what's right, being strong, and being extremely thoughtful, having very top secret conversations, this Hermit card.
A lot of my previous reading shows up in this reading, which I find really interesting. It was a reading I did on Iran, which was very layered, but it seems like the viewership was really off with it for some reason, and some people have said they're not getting notifications, so I just wanted to let you know it's there in case you missed it and would be interested. It does kind of seem like the two of them go together almost hand in hand.
So we've had the Tower. We've seen the Tower certainly on the world stage. We have felt that. And what's coming forward next? Ace of Pentacles. That would be money, a lot of it. Maybe something's going to pass in Congress. That involves a lot of money. I would say it's going toward, yeah, like defending, I'll call it democracy, democratic countries on the world stage. We got to put some money into that. And I think he's going to manage to do that.
So FYI, since I pulled these cards, which was just a few days ago, Biden got a bill to the floor that has now just passed in the House for $95 billion in financial and humanitarian aid to Ukraine, and also includes major financial sanctions against Iran to hurt them there, which also came up in my reading on Iran and the conflict there, which I posted right before this video, in case you missed that. And also this bill should pass on Saturday officially, and according to this card, it will. Fingers crossed. I also want to mention something I'm noticing in my readings, which is how fast things are happening right now compared to how it felt a couple years ago. Like, I recorded 3 readings on Sunday and things started playing out within days or even hours. I can't even barely keep up trying to get them out. And it's kind of exciting because it was the opposite, like I said a few years ago, where even if you felt like something was about to happen, it ends up taking years to play out. Like maybe we were stuck energetically and now that train is finally on track, which feels exciting because hopefully all the things we've been waiting for in regards to justice and truths coming out can finally start going, moving forward, full speed ahead. And I think we are all ready for that.
It could also be a lot of money coming in. I for some reason, it doesn't feel like he's really thinking about his campaign that much, but I do know a lot of money is coming into his campaign, which is ironic because I think that's all Trump thinks about for himself. Well, in the meantime, Biden's out there protecting the world stage. What else? Oh, 2 cards here.
It's interesting. I'm just noticing, watching back, how 3 times now 2 cards came out at once. And I feel like that's speaking to what I initially picked up on, which is how much Biden is multitasking. Like he's handling one problem with his left hand and another problem with his right hand without missing a beat and somehow making it work. And it also does make me think of the 2 major conflicts on the world stage, which similarly he's having to deal with and manage. And I also believe they're connected and he knows it. And, I'm also thinking the two sides of Congress having to answer to the Republicans and the Democrats. And it's so much juggling and managing that one card at once won't do it justice. So I find that kind of cool and interesting.
The Lovers, again, this was in the same position in another reading I did. Yeah. And I take that as unions on the world stage. So I even felt like that was going to be coming up again. There's partnerships and unions on the world stage. And to be honest, they don't there's some things going on. This Four of Cups. It's like there's just a sour taste in their mouth about some things, which makes sense because of what people are up against with dishonest players or, hostile forces out there. Yeah, I mean, we're not, if there's a goal, we're not there yet. It's almost like they just know, it's just kind of an uneasy feeling, like some bad things coming. And there's just also a distaste for some of the games being played on the world stage. And I do think they know more than, we do. And they don't like it. What else? Nine of Cups, though, is again a harmony card and a strength of resolve. This kind of brings some relief to the tension I was feeling in this Four of Cups. There's growing support for Biden. Oh, well, that's good. Because we are reading on Biden, but as soon as I got into Biden, it was getting into this other stuff that he's dealing with right now. So this just feels like Congress a little bit. A growing support for what Biden is fighting for. And that probably leads to something passing in Congress soon, probably. I think he's been trying for a while to get more aid to Ukraine. And that could be some of this distaste here. Some people are just nah, we don't want to give to Ukraine. And it's just right. So it's there's people in union, and then there's people who are no, I don't like it. I don't, either they don't understand the big picture of why it's important, or they do understand and they just, for whatever reason, they don't like it. But there's growing support in the right direction. Hopes and fears for Biden right now. Six of Rods. This is about triumph. Who wins in the end is the hopes and fears. You could relate this to his own campaign, and you could relate to what seems to be on his mind, which is a lot of the world conflict. Who is going to stand at the end and be triumphant? Whew. It's that's what's at stake right now. That's what you feel down here. It's just we have to stand our ground. We have to be triumphant. Just literally or the world could go in a negative direction. So that's why it's really filling his dance card right now, his mind. Okay, so final outcome with Biden. And I wasn't really looking election-wise, but let's it's not really, this is just a check-in. Final outcome, I just feel like it's going to be good. Page of Rods. All right, it's kind of vague. Let's see. It's a small triumph here. Or young people. Might start to get some support from young people. The Hierophant upside down, that's really interesting because in my other reading I just did with a different deck, I got the Hierophant upside down. As the final outcome, I got it right here. It's almost like traditional wisdom, which would be the Hierophant. Traditional wisdom, traditional advice is just not working. If you ever felt and I know I have, but some of the Democrats, they also have their own traditional way of behaving, and you gotta just go against it now. That's over. That system's not working anymore. And that's why he comes out and he's a little more strong and direct than maybe we've seen in the past from from our government or, politics. You know, it's possible that, well, this could also have to do with that same Hierophant. Maybe he takes someone out.
This is a reference to something I got in my last posted reading, which is on the Iran conflict, where I got this same card upside down in the same position using a totally different deck. And I'm about to explain here what I read it as. And this is, of course, just my intuition from my cards for entertainment purposes only.
Like, it's kind of like one of those moments where you learn about this new person that just got taken, you know, or some people knew who this person was. But yeah, someone who's an advisor. In the other reading, it felt like a religious sort of advisor, which in some, you know, in a country like where religion is very mixed with government, that can really overlap. But I do also feel it to be a little like rebelliousness, kind of like with like that whole Dark Brandon thing. It's like he's kind of like putting it all out there as opposed to necessarily playing the old games. He wants to be super honest with the American people. He just doesn't want to play any games. I just keep getting that. Him just saying, I'm not playing any games here. I'm not playing any games. I'm not playing any games. Death. And Three of Pentacles. Plans. You know, I'm feeling him to be strong, so I don't think this has to do with him personally. I do feel like it's relating to what's on his mind, which is kind of all the stuff that these world conflicts, okay? It's like, you know, he's gonna put an end to something. Like, he's like getting tough and he has plans. He's working with other major world leaders. He's getting money together. Like, there's like intricate like war plans, warpath stuff happening that I'm feeling here. Like, I just feel like he's gonna get real tough on someone. He, you know, like sort of like enough is enough. Like, no, not going there. Like, no, like maybe he's ending his relationship with, you know, and that could be this upside down Hierophant, like saying, well, like, these are our allies. This is our ally. Like, this, like, sort of, this is the tradition, blah, 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 you know. And it's just like, you know what, you know, he's mad. And he's going to end. He's going to do something surprising. What I think he already is doing surprising things, saying surprising things.
So in my mind, as I'm watching back, I realize it's not about him ending his relationship with someone else, but him ending some conflict. Like, I saw him as a dad figure who's just about had it with you two fighting, like two siblings, and he's just like, no more. I've had it, figure it out, it's over. That's the energy anyway, which could apply to so many things, like conflict in the Middle East or conflict in our own Congress. So that's interesting energy, and it does feel like him and what he's good at bringing at this time, which we need.
And you know, just I've had enough of this. I've had enough. Like, he's saying, yeah. And, you know, and he's not doing it off the cuff. That's what this Three of Pentacles tells me, like, that he, you know, it's well thought out, it's well planned. He's got the Hermit here. He's thinking deep thoughts, but not just deep thoughts, you know, philosophy or something, but he's examining situations. And it's almost like, oh, you can't see this. Like, when I go to this Hermit, it's like, we've got some top secret stuff we're talking about here. He's going to put an end to something. Maybe he puts an end to this war in these attacks in Ukraine. You know, he's got this coming. Like, and, you know, I think he will be, in the long run, like, known as like responsible for ending something and doing it with like with good planning, orchestrating, architecting the whole thing. He's had enough of some bad behavior. Interesting. We've got the Empress at the base again, which I had in another reading. This happens a lot with me. How the same card in the same position over and over, and it's like the same message. And this is another positive card for America. You know, from sea to shining sea, or, you know, like, well, you know, maybe beyond America, just a positive world card. Yeah, it's a new beginning, a new day. breaking out of limitations. I also, yeah, and I do think that with Biden, it's going to be breaking out of traditions. And, you know, you got this Page of Rods. Yeah, okay. A youthfulness to his messaging, a naturalness, a realness. And these are positive. It's a positive card as well. He wants to move toward positive things. And sometimes that means you got to put an end to some things. And he's going to put an end to some things. It's going to be like hardcore rock star. Like, boom. Like, nope, it's over. He's going to like be like a strong force behind some endings here. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you guys like that. I know that I feel like I'm really feeling Biden in this. And I feel a lot of strength behind him. Like a world of strength, you know, like pretty monumental stuff that he is like handling and managing right now. Certainly not alone, because it is running the country and the world. It like this Lover's card, it involves partnerships, it involves a lot of help and a lot of support, and I think that is growing for him. So feels good to me. I think it's going to be exciting to watch. I don't know why I just got the next 9 months. Is that until I think we'll see some strong things from him. So thanks for joining me again. I hope you guys are all doing well, and let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.